All right, welcome back. I'm going to talk about sub VIs, and a sub VI is literally just a VI inside of another VI, just like in MATLAB where you do functions, or other languages do functions or subroutines or whatever. And basically, you want to use a sub VI whenever you can, because it helps simplify the code. And so I'll go through kind of an example of how to make one, how to use one, and why you would use one. So for starting out, suppose I've got some like really bad units like kilograms per meter, and I want to turn it into something a little more useful like donuts per bald eagle. Turn it into American units and all that. So I don't know what the exact conversion factor is between these. I'm just going to put some stuff in here. I want to make this up as we go because it's all a fictional example anyway. Oh, do we have like pi? Can we multiply something by pi? Because that sounds like a good idea with donuts and all. Here we'll multiply pi, and we'll divide and do a bunch of things. And so maybe we like divide these. I'm making a mess of this. I'm going to multiply all that by pi. I'm gonna make this a indicator because that's gonna be our result. And we're gonna add 42 to this. Create a constant 42. Now suppose I need to do this calculation lots and lots of times. Suppose there's multiple times where I need to go from kilogram per meter to donuts per bald eagle. Suppose I have to do that like lots and lots of times. I don't want to have to I don't have to code this whole mess every single time. So what I can do instead is make a sub VI. Also, this isn't very intuitive as to what this is. And of course, this is a fictional example, so it's not going to make any sense. But suppose this is a unit conversion or something you're going to just do a lot of times. It may not be really obvious what's happening here. So what we can do, we're going to make a sub VI. I make a big box around this. You see it's all highlighted. And I say edit and create sub VI. And it's going to think about it for 6 months or so. And okay, so we got this little block. And this little block doesn't say much either. But if I double click on this block, you can see that I have another piece of code here. And what I can do, I'll do show block diagram, and you recognize that's all of our stuff. Well, there's lots of things I can do with this. First off, I can go up here and say, you know what, I don't like this little icon here. If I double click on it, I can alter this however I want. So maybe I go up here and I'm like, you know what, clear all this stuff, but I do like having a little black border around the edge. I'll put that. Maybe I'll put big. Well, that's not a very big circle. I'll get rid of that. That was a mistake. But maybe I make like a big strawberry donut. And I don't know, there's little icons you can put in there too. You can get pictures to put in here, all sorts of stuff. I can be like donuts, eagle. Maybe I even change my text color here so we can see it. Okay. There it is. Donuts per eagle. Now what's nice about this is suppose later in my code I need to do the same conversion. I got some other thing down here. And rather than copying all that stuff, I can literally just take my little sub VI. I can take this icon, drag it in. If you look, there's the kilograms part. There's the meters part. And I didn't name this one, but there it is. So the idea is, now this is pretty clear what's happening here. And the other nice thing is, suppose this was like maybe a more realistic example. Suppose this was calibration for a sensor somewhere, and we had something in the form of y equals mx plus b. Maybe I build a little sub VI that's like a couple things here. Okay, so y equals mx plus b. Maybe there's our that part, mx plus b. Okay. I should have made this a indicator. Hopefully this will make more sense here in a second. And we'll even step this up. We'll call this voltage, and we'll call this temperature. So maybe I'm inputting a voltage and it's linear, it varies linearly with temperature, so I need to go from voltage to temperature somehow. So I've calibrated it and I've said that this equals 23.7 and this equals 0.08 or 7, whatever, doesn't matter. So now that I can input a voltage and I'll get a temperature out. That's kind of a convenient thing to be able to do in instrumentation. Now just suppose we do this multiple times. I could copy this and put it all these multiple times. I'm making hand gestures here, but you can't see that. Suppose I have this piece of code, and I have multiple temperatures I need to convert. I could copy this every single time. Now, not only is that cumbersome, you don't really know what's happening here, and I could document it. Instead, I can make it a sub VI. Edit sub, create sub VI. The other thing that this does is now if I use this multiple places, suppose I go back in, I replace a sensor or something, and now instead of 23.7, this is 24.1. Rather than having to go through my code and change every single time that I copied this, when I change this sub VI, it changes it for all of them. That's the other reason you want to use sub VIs whenever you can. First off, it's for clarity and making your block diagram make more sense. Second, it makes changes a lot easier. And particularly for calibrations, this is great because if I just copy pasted that mess, I'd have to go find everywhere in my code where I've got these values. And suppose I had multiple things in there with all these different values. Maybe I have multiple sensors that are linear. Now I got to make sure I'm doing the right ones. Or I can make a sub VI, change the sub VI once, and it changes all of them. So that's why you want to get in the habit of making a sub VI.